Hello and welcome to an interview I'm buzzing to be holding. I'm interviewing the lead singer of a band who is emerging and coming out of Manchester and really hitting that indie scene. I'm interviewing Matt from M60. Thank you for coming on here.
No worries. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. We're going to start off just a bit about the band. What's the selling point of M60 and what sets you
The
out?
selling point. Right. For us, it's a bit like we're not trying to reinvent the wheel of indie. We know what indie is and where it stands, and we just want to slot into that bracket. We're not trying to come in and go, yeah, this is breaking the mold, and we're something new. We're just a classic Manchester indie rock band.
And how did you all meet?
So me and the drummer, we met in high school. We weren't actually friends until like year 10, 11. And then we got to know each other better when we both picked music as our option in year 10. So we got together then, formed, we were with some other guys at the time, but that's long ago and they never came part of M60. And then we moved to getting Sam in, who was the guitarist, which was when the guys that we started at school with decided they weren't want to do it anymore. And then shortly after that, we needed a new bassist because the guy we'd got in after the school lot decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So fortunately, the guitarist Sam, his mate, played guitar and quite easily transferred it over to the bass. So we got him in on the bass.
And we'll talk about your music. Your latest single, "Try My Best," is a personal favourite of mine. How buzzing were you to
Yeah.
to the public?
Uh, the thing is, we were sat on that song for so long because we released Let Me Know, what was it, November, October time last year, whenever it was. And we actually recorded those two tracks at the same time. We just held off on Trying My Best because it felt like a proper summer tune and we didn't want to drop it in the height of winter. So we thought, right, let's just hold on to it. And it meant that we dropped Let Me Know, then we recorded another track, which was Home, which we dropped that. And then finally, when spring and sun was coming around, we thought, yeah, now's the time to drop this tune. We proper loved it before we released it. It's one now that we were at band practice yesterday and we were saying, you have these as a band, you have songs you don't like playing live. Not don't like, but like less. And that is definitely one we like less playing live, as much as we love the tune.
And just talking of live performances, how do you decide a set list? You've got so many great songs. How do you decide what makes it and what doesn't?
Um, it's a lot of personal preference and a lot of like what the Spotify stats will tell us. Um, the top like five on Spotify, they kind of pick themselves, and then after that, you start looking at like, right, if we've got an hour or an hour and 10, we'll probably have to cut. We have to cut anywhere between 2 and 5 tracks, and then if you're talking festival slots, it gets even harder. But I just think ultimately it comes down to not what we want to play, but the tracks we have a better, more affection with, especially with the festival slots because we get half hour and that's like top 7 tracks. So you've got like the big hitter, I Don't Mind, Honey, Darling. So you've got three gone there, and then you kind of just have to go, right. Do we either pick the next couple on the top streaming, or do we go with what is best suited for a festival set, or do we go with just what we like? And generally, it's like a mixture of that. There's a lot of dispute. A lot of us don't agree on what we should play. Like we did 18 on the last tour we did. That was it was kind of its funeral though, because I don't think we'll ever play it again. Max didn't want to play it because he'd rather put another tune in. There was Backseat as well that me and Brad, the drummer, we love. So we kind of like pulled weight of it and went, nah, this is going in the set. So it's one of them. You've just got to talk a lot about it and fight a lot about it, but eventually we all end up on a happy medium.
And you mentioned Spotify streams, so I don't mind. It has over 4.5 million streams. Do you think that's your best piece of work?
Um, See, I love I Don't Mind obviously because what it's done for us, it's unreal. But you know, when we had it at the time, we never thought we knew it was a good tune, but we never thought it was gonna like do as well as it has done because that kind of like catapulted us from just being a weekend band to being a band that could go and do something and try and make a living off it. But I suppose the stats speak for themselves that it wouldn't stream so well if it wasn't our best piece of work. Uh, but we spent a lot of time trying to like replicate that song when, and it in turn meant that we'd written songs that weren't as good because we were aiming for something that we shouldn't aim for. It's its own thing. Then as soon as we'd got over that, we started writing tunes like Darling and Kool-Aid and Let Me Know that kind of like are fighting up in the top five now, but I don't mind. It's just untouchable at the minute.
And you had a smashing UK tour this year. How good were the shows?
This tour this year, in fact, has been our best year as a band, and I'm hoping that we can say this every year going forward. But those shows, we've never had a full sold out tour, and when we have had sold out shows, it's been like on the week of the show, we'll sell it out. Whereas these were like we announced it in I think it was October, and by Christmas we only had like two or three shows left to sell. And even with that, they had like 20% tickets left. So seeing the difference from previous years, it's rewarded more than anything. And like we're getting to the point now where in especially in Manchester, we're checking off like bucket list venues that we never thought we'd play. Like New Century Hall is such a like iconic place, and we thought never thought in a million years we'd get there and sell it out. But there we are, last April, the April just gone, and it's a bit mad, really.
And was that your favorite gig of the tour?
Yeah, I know it's like I shouldn't show bias, but the hometown shows are always just there's a different energy, there's a different atmosphere. Obviously, the scale's bigger as well because it's our hometown. But that's not to say we don't love the other shows. There's so many cities we go to, and we get so much love in those cities, um, year on year of us doing them, and then even some new cities now. So that's definitely that. It was the favorite, but it was gonna be because it was like the whole shows on the tour that was bigger than all of them put together. So it was a bit magical.
And you grew up in Manchester. The Manchester music scene is a massive influence, I'm sure. Just how has it influenced the band?
You can't help but draw from every Manchester band that's fell before us, like Stone Roses, Oasis, and then more recently Blossoms, these huge bands. Um, and when you think of Manchester music, you think of music like band music, indie band music. So you can't help but draw from them. But it can at times hinder you because there's that many Manchester bands out there that you can just fall into another, oh, it's just another man band. Um, but I think we've done a good job of kind of setting a place in it, a stepping stone to hopefully hit the tops of like the shirt you've got on Oasis. That would be the dream.
And what's your favorite gig you've played overall as a band?
Overall, see, we did I think it was two tours ago. We did Gorilla in Manchester, and we sold it out. That was like the first big room we'd sold out, and it was just unreal. Like the atmosphere, it was a 600 cap or 550 cap venue, but it felt like you couldn't move in the venue other than people jumping up and down, which was unreal. So that's up there. But I think it's the most recent Manchester show of New Century Hall, and doing that show is just it blew our minds how even the tracks that don't stream as well, every single person singing the words to them. So I think it's either of those two shows for me. I'd imagine the other lads will agree with me on those two, but everyone has their own favourites.
And you've played Northern crowds and Southern crowds. Can you decide what's better, Northern crowds or Southern crowds?
You can't throw me in a north-south fight here. I'll always fight for the north, but we get so much love down south. Southampton, London, Bristol all bring so much energy. Um, so I used to be quite before we toured a bit. I used to have quite a prejudice against the south. Um, that's just because of a few times I went, and it just the culture's different, the people are different. It didn't feel as welcoming, but I feel like now I've been broken down, and that I do enjoy going down south, and the energy they bring is actually unreal. So I'm not gonna pick, but I'm a northerner, so take that what you will.
So you've got a few festivals lined up over the summer. One being Victoria's Festival, which I'm going to on that Friday.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
how buzzing are you for these for this summer?
absolute. Like these like I've said, bucket list venues in Manchester. It's getting to the point now where we're getting festivals that we've dreamed of playing. Um, Victoria's Festival, that lineup's absolutely ridiculous. Kings of Leon headlining it, Queens of the Stone Age headlining it, and you're looking at these bands that you grew up on and going, "I'm actually playing that festival with them." It's unreal. I mean, it's not like we're just in like some back alley stage as well. We're on a good stage at a good time, and it's stuff like that that for years we've been crying out for and begging for, and finally to get it is unreal. There's another one I can't say yet, but we got a big uh, email, and it was 2 weeks ago for a festival this year, which is another big one, and it was a big slot, but I can't tell you that yet. But getting stuff like this just unreal.
And so when you travel, you're obviously all together. What's on the tour bus playlist?
Uh, it varies. We start off on like we start a jam on Spotify. We start off with my playlist, just my standard like songs. Then Max will chip a few in there, and then give it about an hour or two, and we're rolling up like noughties bangers like Rihanna's Rude Boy and Unfaithful and all these like pop classics and absolutely belting them. And it's the most un-indie band thing to do, but with they're screaming Adele and the Spice Girls and all sorts. But it starts with indie and it just soon descends into chaos.
I'm going to end with some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite indie anthem ever?
Oh, see, I was thinking about this the other day and I couldn't really put a pin on my favorite song, but I think I'm massive on Catfish. I'm gonna give you three. So it'd be Catfish, and they never play it live. Sidewinder, absolutely love it. But if you want a replacement for a Catfish tune, we'll go with Seven because that's unreal to belt out live. Uh, Beetlebum by Blur, absolutely love it, and Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz, and it's a bit of a because they do the rapping and everything as well. It's a bit of a take on indie, but it's such a banger.
And you mentioned Blur there, Blur or Oasis.
Oasis, absolutely. For the Manchester roots, you can't not go Oasis. Blur, like I say, that's a belter. But for one Blur tune, I have like 10 Oasis tunes saved.
Brilliant. What's your guilty pleasure artist?
Guilty pleasure. I wouldn't class Billie Eilish as guilty pleasure, but she's up there for me. But she kind of is pop, is indie. But she's not guilty pleasure. Oh, probably Adele. I love Adele. I grew up as a pop kid, so every time I hear Adele, it just throws me back.
The first album that you brought.
But oh yeah, High School Musical, the movie number one was the first album I ever owned.
Any reason for that?
Um, like I say, I grew up as a pop boy. It wasn't until like 15, 16 where I like AM by Arctic Monkeys like transitioned me. Um, and wow, no, 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 or Status Quo, I think it's called, off the High School Musical album. What a banger! Used to take it around to my grandma's and just belt it.
Who's the most underrated band in the UK right now?
Underrated. See, I have a special place in my heart for Corella. We've met them a few times as well. They're great lads, and I think especially live, they are so good live. The recordings are top, but it's a complete different level live. If I don't know if you've listened to any of their live album, but Monday on that live album is absolutely nuts.
Who's the biggest lightweight in the group?
Me, 100% me. Without a, I stick to fruity drinks, and it takes me about four until I'm absolutely gone.
Who would be in your dream 3 day festival headline?
3 day festival headline, Catfish, Billie Eilish, and Spacey Jane. I was gonna throw Adele in there, but I can't do that. We'll put Spacey Jane in there.
What's the weirdest moments on tour?
The recent one, or generally?
Ever.
Right, a guy once enjoyed our music that much that he was just cupping his balls in his hands, like not even like down his pants, like I'm singing the lyrics while staring at his bollocks. Is probably the strangest and weirdest interaction we've had. And then he wanted to shake my hand after it as well.
Did you go for it?
No,
And
kindly declined.
end off, who's one band slash artist that you can recommend me to interview next?
But I'll go with the cover sets. They're quite a quirky bunch. See if they get back to you.
They are very funny. Their TikTok is just hilarious how they've blown up on that.
Yeah, they're going overkill on that TikTok now, but fair play to them. It's working for them.
Well, thank you very much for your time. You've been incredible. Some of your answers were hilarious, and I'm sure when I post them on social media, they'll get a good few views from me.
That's good news. No, thank you, mate.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
No worries.